Hey, how y'all doing this morning? It's your boy Mo Better. Good morning first. And I'm sitting here. Uh, uh, this is about what's going on with Nate Parker. And I want people to look at certain situations and things. And I asked y'all to get the book, Brainwashed. I asked you to get the book, Brain. I'm sitting here laughing now at how my phone keeps cutting. Laughing how my phone keeps cutting in and off. Is when I brought up the demonstration bring up the demonstration of Nate Parker, the scandal that's going on, how my phone keeps cutting in and off. I told you, like, what's so bad about this? I want you to get the movie Brainwashed. When you get the movie Brainwashed, you will see what we dealing with and going through. I'm telling you to get the book Brainwashed. I don't get one penny from this book. I don't get one penny from one book sold. The books that were sold, I don't get nothing from it. But the demonstration is what I found out. Good morning, people. Sonya, Tanya. What I found out is that, you know, it is, Malcolm said it. He said it is so hard to try to make the black man conscious. Not just the black man, the black people, as a people. It's so hard to make us conscious because we have been groomed so tightly to be the way that we are, the way we don't even think nothing is wrong with us. Like the demonstration is, Harriet Tubman said this. She said, I would have freed 1,000 more slaves if they would have only known that they were slaves. They ain't even know it. A lot of us are sick and don't even get to understand it and know what's really happening with us. Cutting in and out. Hey, good morning, Tom. Did you hear good morning? But for the first time, like when you start talking about things of power, you know what I'm saying? They start messing with you, and what they try to do is break you. So sometimes when I start talking about certain things about the education and the economics of a people in the process of power, being a power structure as a black people again, sometimes when I have to go live, y'all don't know it that my screening goes to private. I don't do that. Who do that? Sometimes I put up posts, and if you notice that sometimes in the Post Collective Minds LLC, not just me, but some of us will put up something of power, and the post will disappear. Don't nobody know where it's at. Hey, good morning, Cheryl. How you doing? And don't nobody know where it's at. That's because what you're doing is effective. You are actually being a part of penicillin, psychological penicillin. You actually are being. We were exactly, Latanya. We're taught systematically not to trust one another. This is what we're actually taught. We're actually taught not to trust one another. So the situation is something always comes up. Again, sometimes when I had people contact me and try to make things hard. I have tried to. I don't know. I keep starting over because my my power keep going out. Just paid my bill and everything. But like I said, when you start talking about things of healing a people that really need it, that they want to remain slaves, they're gonna do anything they possibly can to thwart you. Again, I wanted people to get the book. Our first meet and greet for Collective Minds LLC was actually at a bookstore, and it was to get the book Brainwashed. Again, many of us don't even know. We've been groomed and trained so raw with the theories of Willie Lynch and slavery that has gone all the way back beyond Egypt, psychologically, to the degrees to where a lot of us don't think nothing wrong with us. And I wanted people to get this book, to read it, to see, man, do I do this? It allows you and causes you to question yourself and what you're dealing with to see if it's effective to you. And you'd be like, man, when you read it, it's be like, wow. And it's about how propaganda is used against us to keep us in the molds and the method that we in. Like Latanya said, I don't trust you. People don't trust me. But what have I done to you not to trust me? Can anybody bring any type of, I do stuff on contracts. I carry them with me. Can anybody show me any business that I have done that a person has been bad business, or somebody has not been reimbursed for the slightest thing or error in our situation, which means I communicated with them. We communicated and they were satisfied when it was over with. Why you don't trust your brothers? Why you don't trust your sisters? Because this is what we have been groomed to do. And the book again, Brainwashed, is about that. It shows you how we have been brainwashed. And a lot of people don't. We were so happy as black people to be able to get a TV and a radio. Man, it passed information off. It was beautiful, but it was also used to psychologically, continuously enslave us to where we believe what a doctor says because he is deemed, he or she is deemed to be a professional. They have a certificate. This is what they went to school for. We got a lot of, that's true in a lot of situations. However, we don't question them because of their profession. And therefore we fall to prey to a lot of the trickery that they do. And this book, Brainwashed, helps us to see that. And when you look at the media, they continuously feed you things. And again, I continuously talk about how powerful the brain is. And you look it up yourself. I don't want anybody to just accept anything it is I say. Go look up what I say. The brain never forgets anything that goes into it. It goes into a part called the subconscious. Look it up. The subconscious. So anything that goes into your brain, it's in the back of your mind. As it sits in the back of your mind, 10 years, 20 years later from now, a situation happens, and what you would do is that will come from your subconscious, and it will cause you to act and respond upon it subconsciously. Somebody asks you, I know, again, I talk about how you can go through situations and people be like, man, how did you do that? Did you? And you be like, I don't even know yourself. You saw it somewhere before. You read it somewhere before. Somebody said something to you. You've experienced it, not necessarily firsthand, but it was implanted into your mind to where your brain calls you and allowed you to use it, whether in a positive or negative situation. It happened. Brainwash does this. This is what media does. And I believe I did a video about this probably about 2.5, 3 years ago when I talked about they're trying to see where we are. In a period of time, guess what we had? Movie, Rise of a Nation. We getting ready to go as a group and see this on the 8th. That's what we're going to do. We're going to see it as Collective Minds LLC. If you want to be a part of it, hit us up. Let me know. I sent the invite out to a lot of people. And again, the trust factor is, what is it going to bother you to come see a movie with some of your people? You want to see it anyway, right? What do you have to do that day? We not about to go out here and protest, create and establish no riots. We ain't taking no weapons with us. We going to watch a movie, and when it's over, we going somewhere and have some food and sit down and kick it and eat and talk about what we learned. Period. That's it. So why not do that? Okay, then moving forward. The media is used to trick us, to continuously put so much in your head that you psychologically enslaved. Like Willie Lynch said, for 500 years later, these people will still be enslaved. Now, excuse me for a second. This is what the media does. Now, I want to look at you. I want you to look at this and see this, that they're trying to see where we are. You go all the way back like the movie we talking about, Nat Turner. Nat Turner was like, man, I ain't having it. We still had strong people all throughout our histories. You had Nat Turner doing slavery. You had Frederick Douglass doing slavery. You had some sisters doing slavery. You had Harriet Tubman doing slavery. After that, you started coming down and you had different people. You had Elijah Muhammad. I'm not Islamic. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, but I pay attention to a lot of the concepts that are there, and I know they work. I've studied it. And you had Huey P. Newton. You had Malcolm X. You had Farrakhan. You have Martin Luther King. And as you continue through these situations of slavery and after slavery, again, what a lot of people don't speak of is what they don't know about, which was Black Wall Street. You had some strong brothers that was like, man, whatever you talk, it's going, we doing us. What they do? They eventually slaughter us, find some way to kill us, some type of way to get us out of the way, right? So a period of time, this is what they do. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. They put drugs in our neighborhoods. Yeah, I said they put it in our neighborhoods. We went to go get it from them. That's where we was getting our dope from back in the days. I don't get Ronald Reagan got caught. Dude told, man, I get all my weapons from Ronald Reagan and Oliver North. Okay. But during this time, guess what the situation was? We was able to obtain weapons. We was strong still. We was culturally strong. Like, man, black people, black is love, black is beautiful. We was still on that. Like every other time throughout history, they destroyed us, killed us, found some way to tear down our situation. And when the head dies, guess what? It happens to the body. That's why in this organization, I don't want to be the only head. Not because I'm scared to die, but because if something happened to me, when something happens to me, guess what? I want these other 9 heads to be able to carry it through and keep moving with it. See, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, but I'm going to polish it up. I'm going to see how it needs to be done. So guess what? This will continue. You had all these strong people coming along. Drug era hit. Now we not just strong power for the people. We black. We got weapons now. And we letting them know, man, whatever. Put your hands on me. I'm going to put my hands back on you. I'm not saying necessarily that is the method. That's not necessarily saying what I am teaching right now. But they knew that. So what did they do? They advanced the drug laws. They advanced every law that was against us to send those who still felt like that strong and power to the people. Them Huey P. Newtons. Them Martin Luthers. Them Malcolm X's, them Farrakhan's, for real, they started sending us to prison for 10, 15, 20 years at a time. We was doing life bits for things that Obama, thank you, just cleared to where now, guess what happened? We doing 3 and 4 years for them now. We was getting life bits. So the demonstration was this. When it was time for us, those strong brothers, to carry that next generation off into the, hey, we strong, brother. You black and you should be proud. You shouldn't niggify everything. Polish, class. This is, when this was going on, when it was our turn to teach those under us, them prison sentences hit. So that left a bunch of youth out here to wonder what the rules and the regulations were to life and are to life. And that's why you have so many senseless killings and things out here like this. We kill each other more so than we ever have ever in life. Now, one of the things about propaganda is this. They continuously put all this on the news. They continue the death of Huey Newton. It scares people who are weak. It scares people who are not strong. You see what I'm saying? It scares those who need to be uplifted. It scares those who need that push. You see what I'm saying? And it scares them from doing what's needed to be done to continuously uplift your children and your community in the right way. That's what prison did in our time. We went away. That scared people. Prison. Oh my God. And at the same time, guess what it did? Those who were time, and when it was time for us to teach those under us, we were gone. We couldn't have left them out here to do the things they do. So now the older people became scared to communicate with the younger people because they were so wild. Again, I want you to look at through the times. From slavery, we always had some strong black people doing certain situations, and they always found a way to destroy us, right? You got, hey, good morning, Monet Angelique Robinson. How you doing this morning? And, right, and you're right. It scares those that don't know that they are still strong. It scares those that don't know that together we can beat all this. Together. But guess what it scares you to do? It scares you to even deal with your own. Why? You don't even know. Psychologically, you don't even understand why. I don't trust him. Why? You can't even say why because you never dealt with him. But through the media, we have been psychologically schooled to fear one another so that the same enemy that kills 50 people by himself individually, there's 50 people individually, we won't get together and defeat that enemy. This is what the media does. Now, again, as I continuously come along, the movie that the video that I did a few years back, they're trying to see where we are. Who is still strong enough to stand up against us? Are there any more of them left? Are there any more Martins, nonviolent? Are there any more Huey P. Newtons? Are there any more Malcolm X's? Are there any more of these people still alive? Now say that, and I want you to understand this, follow this process and how they doing this. You had when you become conscious, there's things that happen. Let's go all the way. We go all the way. Yeah, my system's shutting down again. This might go private this might go private when it's supposed to be public. That's how they play their hand with us. But they trying to see where we are. Now you go all the way back to Bob Marley. What happened to Bob Marley? He was talking about consciousness. Go anybody that is conscious to get rid of this. You had Bob Marley, you had Nat King Cole, you had Julia, you had a lot of people don't know. They look at Richard Pryor as being a hilarious comedian that cussed a lot and said, look at his show. He dropped jewels in his show all the time. Eventually, they end up cutting you out all the way down the line. Us, who can educate a people. How much do you hear about, man, what is his name? I just finished talking about him. He was a writer, a black activist. And I used to put his stuff up not too long ago, and he's almost forgotten about. And I will mention his name again and bring him back up in here. In his group under this post, I'll put it in. We eventually end up dying off, or they find a way to destroy what it is that we're doing or advance the character. Like this guy, he was a poet and a writer. Can anybody remember his name? Young brother. They always told he was a black activist. I can't remember his name, but he was real powerful. And again, they find a way to shut him down, find a way to assassinate his character. Richard Pryor, everybody. Then you come to, we can keep going on and on and on. I'm going to come and bring this a little short right now. Barack Obama, he's not born in America. He really not this and he's really not that and things of that nature. They try to assassinate your character. I'll talk about Barack Obama in a whole nother time, and I'm talking about what they do and what the situation is going on. Like Barack Obama, that people say he didn't change the laws. Did a lot. How many people have jumped the fence at the White House? People shot through it, behind it. Nobody jumped it. They jumped the fence when Barack was in office. How many people have shot inside the White House, and then they can't find who did that? No weapons, no nothing. Can't nobody leave. Cameras everywhere, but they don't know who shot inside the White House. There has never been a situation where a president has been at a party to where somebody crashed the party like, oh, we driving down the street. It's a party today. Let's go in here. Bridal shower, seminar, whatever. They crashed Obama's party. They letting Obama know, you the president, but you still a nigga and we will kill you. They trying to see how strong we are and where we are and what we gonna do about what it is that we do. And Monet Robinson, they fear us because we are the ones that actually build and create and establish their country. Did you know that the White House was actually constructed? The blueprints for it was actually written by a brother. Street lights, cotton gin, straightening comb, toothpaste, Egypt, prosthetics, Egypt, us. If they can continuously control us, they can continuously control what runs the city and the organization to them, the world, finances, credit. We are the biggest consumer on the planet Earth. We spend $1.3 trillion a year with other people beyond us. Now, what happens when we learn to spend our own dollar? We become economically powerful. When you become economically powerful, guess what? Any other power that you're looking for comes. Say, for instance, none of us vote, but we spend our own money with ourselves before it goes anywhere else. We still got money in the bank. We still pay taxes, but we don't vote. Do you know what the politicians are going to do? The politicians gonna come see these people that don't vote, that's spending their own dollar, and be like, man, what do y'all need? How can we help y'all? How can y'all help us? This is why that's why they scared of who we are as a people. And again, I'm getting into the media and how this situation does what it does. Barack Obama, you ain't from America, is what they say and present to bring forth some type of chaos through the media. So now, guess what the brothers do with us? We trained. This is against us. They don't really care because they gonna do what they want to do anyway. But guess what we start saying? Man, ISIS is out. Oh my God. And Barack is not an American. He was born in Afghanistan. He might really be part of. So guess what we do? We look at Obama like he crazy. That's what the media does. Again, brainwashed. We are brainwashed to do the things that we do towards one another instead of coming together to fight the enemy. I'm not saying necessarily physically fight, but my thing is this. Guess how they beat us? Education. So guess what happens when you become educated? You can beat them. We can beat them as a people instead of being always in this new terminology, independent and individual, looking out for self. That's why we are where we are through the process of divide and conquer. Now, that was Barack. Now, again, the situation we're going to go through history, look at him, Huey P. Newton, everybody, right? Now, we're going to come up this way. We talked about Barack Obama. And again, I don't know if this man did this or not. Matter of fact, I'm going to go before him. People will listen to, I don't watch TV, and I really don't watch sports. Who was fighting the dogs? People would listen to him. But guess what? When you become powerful, guess what? He became powerful. But again, Mike Vick. When you become powerful and people begin to listen, guess what happens? They find a way to shut you down and destroy you. It was about dogs, but still, guess what? We paid more attention to Mike Vick and them dogs than what we really needed to be paying attention to concerning what was going on in our society. Is that correct? You see what I'm saying? And I'm finding out that the more my connection, more and more people are listening. But the more times my connection cut off, I think that severs our ties. And I have to reconnect or think that I'm done with the video. And I'm actually not. But Mike Vick, you had different people through the sport. And instead of paying attention to the power and the good, instead of paying attention to the